that night, Jason Henry was there. The freshman has been suspended, and he's not here. And that was also the last game that Marcus Monk played for Arkansas before he ran into eligibility issues. On that game, he had 12 points, 5 rebounds in just 22 minutes. He was a big part of what the Razorbacks were able to do in keeping it close. They don't have that luxury tonight, Tim.
No, they really don't, and there's no question that's been one of the issues that they've had the last half of the season, Dave. SEC basketball is presented in high definition. We're available by Raycom Sports. I think that's one of the reasons why it's been tough for John Pelfrey to get the job done, have his team finish games because of the issues that Dave was talking about. No doubt about that. And, of course, he was tutored in this business by his counterpart tonight, the wonderful head coach and really the man with all the tenure among the head coaches in college basketball in this league, Billy Donovan.
And a bunch of hardware to go along with it. 2 NCAA titles, 3 SEC tournament titles for Coach Donovan. You mentioned John Pelfrey. He was about ready to insert Marcus Monk into the starting lineup. He was playing that well, and then he is out for the rest of the year. A big blow for the Hawks.
Tenio Petty, along with Pat Adams, Doug Schow's our lead referee tonight. For the nightcap, Tyus and Washington will get things started. Both of these teams like to get up and down the floor. It should be entertaining. And again, much on the line, not just for these two, but for Auburn watching tonight. Their opportunity on the receiving end of the winner in the bracketing for this SEC tournament.
Those red-hot Auburn Tigers, winners of 8 of their last 9, a club that's really playing well. And I think tomorrow night, if the Florida Gators are the opponent, that will be a play-in game. The winner goes on to the NCAA tournament.
Warner, not this time. Long rebound corralled by Arkansas, and here's Fortson. So difficult to guard. In large measure, Barry, and you know this being one yourself, he's got the wingspan of a 6'6" player at 5'11".
He does, and he does a great job drawing fouls when he gets around the basket. Really good penetrating.
Washington with a putback opportunity, does not fall, out of bounds, control to Florida.
Michael Washington won't get many better opportunities than that. Just missed the lefty layup. Sight lines in this building a little bit tough. It's kind of like shooting in a dome. The backgrounds behind the basket are so far away in this building, and no one has really shot the three-point shot very well in this building so far today.
See the whistle? Marcus Britt picks up the foul, his first. Calathis will trigger it in. Hodge, a little ball fake. Parsons, this is the young man that I think is the real trigger for Florida. When he's playing well, Barry, they're a much better team.
Oh, and he's a guy who can attack the basket in addition to knock out the three-point shot as he just did.
Saw the trap of Fortson, but they were able to get it into the hands of Britt to get it across the timeline.
Gators playing that pressure defense in the full court setting. They drop back into the matchup zone, and they have been pretty good out of this defense for the most part.
Sanchez, nice move off the feed from Marcus Britt. And it's 3-2.
The matchup zone for Florida, a little bit vulnerable around the basket, especially if the Arkansas Razorbacks will cut and move without the ball.
Tyus, not there. Well defended by Washington for Arkansas.
Washington can shut down the middle defensively for Arkansas.
Very quick shot that time by Washington. He does have great range. He is an inside-outside post player.
With only a 17% three-point shooter, you don't want him to take that kind of shot that early in the shot clock.
Warner. Washington clears.
I think Arkansas will be satisfied if Florida is content to launch three-point shots all night long.
Rodney Clark from downtown. Too strong. Calathis the rebound. Calathis. 4 rebounds already for Michael Washington.
Both teams taking a lot of three-point shots so far in this ball game.
Calathis comes away with it. Hodge all the way to the hoop.
There's a drive to the basket. Hodge getting it in there. Good job by the senior guard for the Gators.
Fortson has it knocked away by Hodge.
The Gators getting out in transition. Walter Hodge getting it into the middle of the lane, just taking it right to the front of the rim, able to get the easy finish.
Stephon Welsh taking it into the paint, and Hodge comes out of there with it.
Welsh out of the starting lineup tonight for Arkansas.
Trying to make a point here, though, isn't he? Nice move down the... Oh, boy, that was a beautiful play by Welsh. He hurried it up the floor and passed off to Andre Clark. He was fouled. And it's Parsons that picks it up.
Good job by Welsh. He's played a lot of point guard during his career at Arkansas. Great job pushing it down the court, setting up his teammate Andre Clark for the opportunity, getting him to the foul line.
I think for John Pelfrey, because he's reduced to so few players, you see some of that intensity there from him. He's trying to mix and match as many guys early in the game as he possibly can to keep his team as fresh as possible.
Yeah, that will be a big factor. Arkansas has been ahead in 5 games this season, but not able to, in the second half they've been ahead, but just not able to hold on and get wins. That lack of depth has been a big issue.
And I think in many respects, the youngster Michael Sanchez, the freshman from Springdale, his legs have grown weary late in games. But 4 spot on the floor, the power forward position, has been a difficult spot for Arkansas this year.
Been very inconsistent, the 3 and the 4.
Fortson rejected. Parsons gets it out to Calathis. Warner steps just inside the arc, not there. Parsons tries to follow.
Perimeter oriented so far for Florida, not much in the paint or near the basket.
How about that teardrop by Rodney Clark?
Yeah, he is becoming much more versatile. Rodney Clark putting it on the floor, showing you some production off the dribble.
Oh, again, nice work by the Gators. And it's now a 7-4 Florida lead. They are just absolutely beating Arkansas down the floor.
Well, they will have a lot of success if they continue to push the ball into the paint, get it around the rim. Arkansas will wear down that lack of depth if Florida will continue to push it inside.
Well, Calathis is so quick, too. I mean, he's deceptive how he can blow by you. Wonderful pass there to Walker. Irving Walker makes a difference for this team. When they get him going with Calathis off the ball, they are really fast.
Member of the SEC all-freshman team, Irving Walker.
There he is following his own shot and giving it up. Warner's wide open for the 3 and gets this one to drop through. First 3 ball for Dan Warner, the junior from Middletown, New Jersey, and a timeout. Gators get out to a 6-point cushion early on.
The Gators are just so explosive offensively. We saw some good offense from Rodney Clark a few moments ago. The head fake, he's a great 3-point shooter. You have to rush out and protect against that. Clark able to take advantage with the head fake and get into the lane. And Dan Warner at the other end knocked in the second 3-point shot that the Gators have made on the evening.
The Toyota Info Center on RaycomSports.com is your online destination for complete coverage of SEC basketball. Be sure to check out the Toyota Info Center on RaycomSports.com. When he gets all the pieces, look out. The amazing thing, and I think in some measure, one of the true curiosities about the Southeastern Conference this year, Barry, was the fast start Arkansas had, the non-conference wins against Texas and Oklahoma, and then the horrible start in league play, as you see Sanchez get the due. So I think that was one of the reasons why the league was was looked upon as being in a transitional year, because you would have thought at one point that Arkansas might be the bell cow.
Yeah, when they were 12-1 entering conference play, and Arkansas with those wins over Texas and Oklahoma, you thought, hey, these guys have a great chance to make the NCAA tournament.
Clark feeds Fortson. Beautiful play.
Usually that goes the other way from Fortson to Clark. A good job by Rodney Clark pushing it down the court, delivering on time. Easy finish for Courtney Fortson.
Pelfrey loves Rodney Clark. He thinks he just needs to keep on shooting, stay confident. It reminds him a lot of his old teammate Travis Ford, now coaching at Oklahoma State. There's Shipman. Nice baseline explosion by him.
In that red and white uniform, Clark reminds me of Pat Bradley. Great three-point shooter for the Razorbacks. Number 5 all-time scoring for Arkansas. Rodney Clark had more points and more three-pointers in his freshman year than Pat Bradley did.
Clark looking outside again, waiting for that free ball that did not come his way. Well, the Gators have had 5 different players get into the scoring column, sharing the wealth. But they did have one pickpocket act. Rodney Clark running the break beautifully to Fortson. Fans, get your cell phone ready. It's time for our interactive feature called the Verizon Text of War. Now, we want your answer to this question in this matchup, okay? Which was the better NCAA championship team? The 94 Razorbacks or the 2007 Gators? To text your answer, go to S-1 or S-2 to 55333. We'll update the results a little later in the half. Now, here are some of the players that were on that team. As you see Nick Calathis, there were so many outstanding players. We'll show you that a little bit later on to help you jog your memory just a bit.
Obviously, 2 great teams. Arkansas made it to the championship game 2 years in a row, and of course, Florida, 07 was the second time they won it.
Boy, Washington missed 2 from point-blank range, and then Britt went in there to save it and give the Razorbacks another opportunity.
No points so far for Washington, as he has had several opportunities right around the basket. 6 boards.
Welsh. Sanchez, another offensive rebound.
Razorbacks getting those extra opportunities.
Well, Florida has played, as you know, Barry, a lot of zone this year, and you do give up offensive rebounds at times when that is the case. Shipman has it stripped, and the foul is committed by Welsh. And John Pelfrey disagrees. He has the proverbial "are you sure" look on his face.
Stephon Welsh disagreed as well. Yep. No one would know better than he if he got any hand or arm. It looked like a clean strip. But
when you're slapping downward, 9 times out of 10, that's going to be the whistle.
And when you're attacking the basket, as Ray Shipman was, Florida running a strong, fast break with Irvin Walker making that delivery, you'll get that call 9 times out of 10.
Courtney Fortson coming back onto the floor. Welsh sits down. He's still a little upset about that foul. You can tell that not starting has impacted him. He's playing hard tonight.
Yes, he is.
Britt back out there now. There's that double team. Fortson finally gets it into Sanchez's hands. Florida has surprised them a little bit with those traps. Rodney Clark gets a good look and rattles home the tray.
That's the guy you have to find and get to at the end of that press attack. Florida puts that pressure on you. You have to hustle back and make sure you find Rodney Clark. He can wear you out from 3-point range in transition.
He has 5 of the 11 Razorback points. Tice pops out high. Sanchez clears it. The Arkansas bigs are doing the job. Not many second chances for the Gators. Clark, not this time. And Warner collects it and gets it into Irvin Walker's hands. He's got the savvy of a player much older than a freshman. He's that Brooklyn-born guard that knows how to get it done as Michael Sanchez picks up that foul. End-to-end action early in this game. Razorbacks and Gators in round 1 finale. Watercolor, a coastal resort on Florida's beautiful Emerald Coast, brings unspoiled Florida and southern hospitality to your family. The Watercolor Resort offers everything you need to paint the perfect vacation. Call 888-775-2545 or visit watercolorresort.com for more information. Mention SEC basketball for up to 25% off select vacation accommodations. There's Billy's dad, William Donovan, one of the really good guys.
Yes, he is.
I love the Argyles. Normally, he puts some color. He went with the light blues tonight, the Carolina Blues by Mr. Donovan. I got a chance to introduce my mother, Loretta Brando, to Mr. Donovan the other night at Mississippi State because he goes to all the games,
of course,
as well. And she had the most fun having a chance to chat with him. Wonderful, wonderful guy. Hodge off the glass, not there. She's a big hoop fan. She doesn't miss a game either, and they exchange basketball stories.
Well, Michael Washington just knocked that rebound away from his teammate, and Florida turns it into 2.
Warner. Well, he is a guy, Barry, that maximizes every ounce of talent he has.
This is a very good shooter. The Florida big guys, Parsons and Warner, very good shooters. And then they have Tyus and KG, guys who can score with their backs to the basket. A versatile Gator club.
Nice play by Tyus in the passing lane, leads to a turnover. Hodge gets it into Calathis' hands. Parsons off the curl, not there. And Rodney Clark comes out of there with it.
Good job by Sanchez there, sticking with Calathis. He tried to shake him, get an open shot in the lane, but Sanchez stuck with him well enough to make Calathis give the ball up.
Tell you, I'm impressed with the way Sanchez has played early in this game too, Barry, because they really need to get as much out of him as humanly possible. There's Fortson using his screen, and then Washington's athletic putback. If those two can keep their legs fresh for the bulk of the game, then they've got a chance to hang right with the Gators.
Michael Washington finally gets a basket. He's now 1 for 5 from the field. He did collect his 7th rebound on that sequence as well.
Nice backdoor by Hodge, and Warner found him. A baseline backdoor maneuver, and Warner was right on time with the pass.
Beautiful job. Hodge able to shake free on that backdoor cut. Warner nailed him with a nice bounce pass.
I tell you, Barry, if you watch Florida play through the bulk of the year, I don't know that I ever saw them play a bad game. They just got outplayed from time to time, but they never really played a very poor game where you didn't think that the effort was there or that the level of intensity was there. Warner for 3. Sanchez runs it down.
One thing about the Gators, they are the best offensive team in the SEC, and I think by a significant margin. If you look at points per possession, the Gators very efficient offensively.
I know you're big on that, and I don't disagree. I really don't. Britt not there. And you've got the statistical data to back you up. Calathis looks for Parsons. Good ball fake. And the line drive jumper goes. 5 for Parsons. Largest lead for the Gators at 7. Just over 8 to play. And John Pelfrey gets another quick timeout. Things about this baseline backdoor move here.
Yeah, things have been a little bit easy the last few trips for the Gators. That backdoor cut for a layup. They've gotten a couple of wide open shots. John Pelfrey just talking to his team right now about just getting focused and doing a stronger job defensively as these Gators have shaken loose. This, a wide open jumper off the head fake from Chandler Parsons. Just too easy lately for the Gators.
And in a lot of respects, Barry, you mentioned the best offensive, most efficient offensive basketball team. I think Billy coaches offense in a manner that maybe some of the other guys don't in this league. Let's go over to Dave Baker. Dave?
And Tim, you were talking about William Donovan earlier. Here's a story that people can relate to, fathers and sons. You know, he coaches Billy's son, like in the junior pro leagues.
Right.
And Billy said a few weeks ago they were playing, and his dad was in the huddle. And he said, "Fellas, come on, this isn't Romper Room." And he stopped him and said, "Hey, Dad, Romper Room hadn't been on for 20 years. None of these kids know what it is."
At least 20 years.
By the way, my dad was in television. He got me on the Romper Room.
Hey.
He did. He got me on the Romper
Very
Room.
nice.
Yeah.
And you've gotten mom and dad into the broadcast.
How about that?
Very impressive.
That's why I mention Mr. Donovan all the time. Britt and Welsh been very active. Welsh coming up empty that time from downtown. Arkansas 1 of 7 from 3. Walker not there. Razorbacks have closed out, not allowing too many putback opportunities. Florida's 2 of 8 from downtown. So neither team. You mentioned the background of the shooting location here. The depth perception issues can be there for outside shooting, even though it is not a dome stadium. It's a very intimate setting here, particularly baseline to baseline. But behind the goal, you're right, there's plenty of room.
That's right. It feels like a dome when you're shooting the basketball, and the teams have struggled in this building so far.
7:19 remaining in the opening half. Arkansas, a paltry 6 of 23 from the floor, but they're only down by 7. Games, players, and performances of the year. Go to raycomsports.com for more information to find out when Geico will be visiting a college campus near you. Now this is I'm going to try visually to show you as best we can what we're talking about with regard to the shooting background that the players face.
Yeah, and just from our perspective here along the sideline, just looking at the basket, the background that you have behind the rim is just a long way away from the court. It's not a steep incline that these seats are on. So despite the fact that the seats are close to the court, what you see in the background is a long way away as you're looking at the rim beyond the three-point line.
Washington got the jump hook to drop through. It's 20 to 15.
And no team has had a good day shooting the basketball from three-point range in here today.
5 turnovers now committed by the Gators. The classic portion of that point that you're making, though, that is illustrated to me is the intimate setting that we have. Really like a 12,000-seat gym with the fans on top of you, and then yet when you're shooting the basketball, it seems that they're far, far away. That's right. In a manner that you would not normally see. Sort of like a hanger effect. Walker. Nice wing jumper for Hodge. Woefully short. He had a great look. And drew nothing. A little air ball action. Fortson comes down with it.
As a shooter, I like those buildings that have really steep slope in the seats so that the background is a lot closer to the basket. The pit in Utah is like that. A great gym to shoot in.
Sanchez. Well, he's played well. He's been tough tonight. Very impressed.
He has had some games where he has hardly showed up, and tonight he's given 6 points on a night when Arkansas doesn't have Jason Henry available to this club. They need Michael Sanchez to play well, and he's also a good start.
And the foul spotted. And it'll go against Welsh.
Here's Sanchez shaking loose inside, getting away from Dan Warner. Good feed. Caught the ball right on time and able to finish. That has been a problem for him so often this year. He's had the ball right around the basket, just not able to finish the play. He's done it on a few occasions tonight.
Andre Clark has checked back into the game for Sanchez. And Britt is back out there as well for Arkansas.
2-3 zone from the Razorbacks on the inline out-of-bounds play, and they get a steal.
That'll help save the legs a little too, won't it?
Well, they may switch into that a little bit more. It was so effective there.
Washington, too strong.
He just doesn't have his touch tonight. That was just a hard line drive there. No arch on that shot.
And Walker got it down there quickly, did everything but finish. There's Clark. That alley-oop was too strong by Fortson. Off the mark. Nice work inside, but again, KG couldn't get it to go, and Washington all over the glass. He has 9 rebounds, but he's not been able to get his stroke on the offensive end.
The Gators struggling a bit here lately at the offensive end of the court. Only 20 points for them. Not a very strong output offensively so far.
Walker with a 3-on-2. Got a little bit of an incidental bump And that ended the break, and now he decides to pump a three. An easy one for Werner. Timeout, Arkansas. 4:38 remaining here in the half.
I still think Florida can do a lot of good work around the basket if they'll have a little more patience. They've taken 10 of their field goal attempts. 10 of their 25 attempts so far have been three-pointers. They need to do more work around the basket against these Razorbacks.
It'll be another great day here at the Southeastern Conference Tournament presented by Haviland. LSU and Kentucky will get things going. The Southeastern Conference regular season champions against Jody Meeks and company. Then Mississippi State against South Carolina. The upstarts of the East and the best of the West on display. Joe Dean, very local with me, and of course, the veterans of this Southeastern Conference tournament who have been working it for 26 years beyond, of course, Larry Conley and Tom Hammond, two of the finer broadcasters ever in college basketball, and from the Commonwealth of Kentucky with love. I thought it was very moving when they were given a standing ovation in their last game that they called at Kentucky, part of this package. And of course, this will be our last Southeastern Conference tournament on Raycom Sports, and it's been an honor for all of us to be a part of it. And I'm proud to call myself a colleague of those two men.
No question about that. We appreciate everyone at home inviting us into their homes over all these years. Great times with SEC basketball.
Tyus has it slapped away by Washington, and he picks up the foul.
Well done putting it on the floor there from Alex Tyus, attacking the rim. Want to see more of that out of the Gators. They will find a lot of success the more they attack that rim.
He got better as the season went on, Barry. And I think that as the stars of the future come into Florida, they've got an incredible amount of talent coming in next year. It's been highly documented. Boynton, so many others. Big players, transfers that will become available to them next year with size. I think he's going to be really impacted more than any other player by Florida's additional size next year. It'll free him up a lot more.
Well, and in addition to Calathas, they have another excellent point guard coming in on the state champion team in Florida. Yep. A lot of guys to distribute as well as finish.
Well, Washington gets the putback off the Brent miss. He has 6. Maybe that will light a fire for Washington offensively. He's played well on this end of the floor. 9 rebounds already. And the 10th rebound on that offensive putback. Tyus blows by Washington. And that's number 11 on the glass for Michael. He's 4 points away from a double-double. Fortson would have counted had it gone. So difficult to guard. Young man from McGee, Arkansas. Very active in this game. Which is the better NCAA championship team? Look at that.
Wow.
Well, we know the passion of the Arkansas Razorback fan, okay? You see the results as of now. Add your voice to the vote. Text your answer to S-1 or S-2 to 55333. Thanks for participating. Here's some of the players on both those teams. And Big Nasty, Thurman, McDaniel, those guys were I thought Dwight Stewart was the matchup nightmare because he was a big guy that could go out and drain threes and made life a lot easier for Corliss Williamson.
And Corey Beck, the excellent point guard.
What a great rebounding guard he was.
Yeah, but for Florida, 3 first-round draft picks that went in the top 10 of the NBA draft. In the top 9, actually. Horford, Brewer, Noah. Great players. 2-time national champion Florida Gators. They were outstanding.
As I said before, we know of the passion of the Arkansas Razorback fans. The question, I believe, for the rest of the text of war should be changed to, okay, which of these fan bases are going to be the most passionate, right?
That's a good question. The Gator Nation is extensive.
Yes, it is. Warner couldn't get that one to go, and then an over-the-back foul is committed. It'll go against Ray Shipman, freshman from Miramar, Florida. As Parsons takes a seat, the Gators are 2 of 11 from downtown. If you look at some other scores, Boston College up on Virginia in the ACC tournament in Atlanta. Oakland State with a big win tonight.
And did I hear Pitt went down?
Pitt went down.
Today?
I don't think that will affect them in the seeding at all. I think they'll still be a #1 seed. But West Virginia secured their spot in the NCAAs with that win.
Yeah, that's quality.
Calathis brings it back. Gators maintain a 5-point lead and have done it really with defense. They're shooting very poorly from the perimeter.
The Gators have a couple of advantages in this game. They lead the conference in scoring in conference games only, and Arkansas is last in opponents' points per game.
Calathis Calathis is really upset with himself. It's kind of like, boy, my biorhythms just aren't here tonight. He had a 10-foot shot that went 14 feet.
And both teams struggling shooting the basketball so far in this one.
And an unforced error that time by the Razorbacks. Tyus, Shipman, Hodge, Warner, and Calathis operating the point for Florida. The 5 on the deck. Again, Calathis forcing the issue, but to no avail. Washington comes out of there with it, tries to give it to Fortson, and he turns it over.
Well, Fortson got off balance and tripped over Michael Washington.
And John Pelfrey is saying, wait a minute, a little too much contact down there, don't you think?
He didn't fall down by himself. John Pelfrey arguing. A great job by Washington grabbing that rebound. And Fortson gets knocked over by Shipman.
Yep, Shipman unable to get it to go. Calathis gets the rebound. A rare second chance opportunity. Make it 3 for Florida.
And we could build a house with the bricks going up from 3-point range so far in this one.
They've missed their last 10 field goals, the Florida Gators. 0 for their last 10.
2 for 12 from 3-point range.
And finally, Calathis ends the drought.
So heard me trash talking them.
Largest lead of the night, Gators by 8.
The Razorbacks are struggling to put it in the hole as well at their end of the court. They haven't been able to get close in this game despite Florida's offensive struggles.
There's a baseline move by Britt. Strong.
Nice drive down the baseline.
His first bucket, and then Hodge gets an easy one.
Gators in transition once again. Walter Hodge, the easy finish.
Taking advantage of a lack of defensive transition by Arkansas. Rodney Clark launches a nylon song for Rodney. He's got 8. He's really the only shooter for either squad that's been consistently on target. His misses have been narrow misses when they've happened.
And he knew that one was going down. He was backpedaling to the defensive end before that one found the net.
Parsons and KG will come back on the floor when we come back. So Florida at least stuck with it and got 3 opportunities before Calathis knocked it down.
Calathis, as he does so often from long range, able to bang that one home. At the other end, Rodney Clark answered, get that lead back down to 5 for the Gators.
Gomer's got a young club, and like so many others, is in transition. Those teams lost all of those tremendous veterans of a year ago that made it to the tournament final in that bizarre setting that was the Yellow Jacket home of Georgia Tech. But as good as their young people are, I think they've got a real good chance to be outstanding with additional recruits next year. Well, tonight's announcers are selectively compensated by Raycom Sports. Any use of the broadcast without the express permission of the Southeastern Conference, and Raycom Sports is prohibited. 32.5 remaining. I guess it's a good news, bad news story, Barry. If you're Florida, you're saying we can't play much worse on the offensive end of the floor, yet we're up 5.
Yeah.
And if you're Arkansas, you're saying I know we can make more shots than this, and you're only down 5.
Exactly. Both teams have to be a little disappointed with how they played, especially how they shot the basketball, but still have a chance to win the game.
Cox comes into the game and gets into the passing lane, forcing a turnover. Fortson, he's fouled.
As he is so often able to do, Courtney Fortson able to draw the foul, and a great play by Cox to get the turnover, create this transition opportunity for the Razorbacks, and Courtney Fortson finishes strong.
Yeah, they really baited him with the height disadvantage that time. And I give Cox a lot of credit. As you said, comes right in and makes a hustle play. Youngster from Jonesboro, Arkansas, with precious little playing time this year.
And at only 6'3", playing some great post defense at times, flipping around while the pass was being made.
The grunt work.
There you go, the dirty work.
Absolutely. Hodge back out onto the floor. Parsons will sit down. And the lead is down to 3 for Florida, 29-26, but they will get a last look at the basket. And a little curl off that weave.
Trying to find Hodge for 3, but maybe running out of time. They did.
That's the end of the first half. It has been a grind, as many conference tournament opening rounds sometimes are. 29-26 the score, and Dave Baker's got Billy Donovan.
Billy, neither team shot the ball particularly well, but you're always concerned with pace. How did you feel the pace was for your club?
I thought the pace was good for both teams. I thought both teams missed a lot of shots. I don't know if the defense maybe is reflective of what the shooting percentages are, because I know on our end we gave up some good looks and they didn't make them, so we got to anticipate that they're going to probably shoot the ball a whole heck of a lot better in the second half.
All right, thanks,
Thank
Billy.
you.
Best of luck. It's Billy Donovan. He heads to the locker room as his Florida Gators lead the Razorbacks of Arkansas 29-26. Our halftime activities come your way next.
Not far from the St. Pete Times Forum. We're at halftime. And the second half just about to get underway. And moments ago, our Dave Buzz Baker spoke with John Pelfrey of Arkansas.
John, good competitive first half, but nobody knocked down a lot of shots.
No, we did not. And they'll probably change here in the second half, hoping for the Razorbacks, enough for the Gators.
Neither team knocked down a lot of shots. Have you noticed anything from your guys in terms of the shooting background here?
No, I don't think so. I think we just got to be a little more aggressive and hop up there and make our free throws, convert some plays around the basket. Thought Florida got some good looks from the three-point line, but they always do.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it. That's John Pelfrey, Tim.
Rodney Clark has been close with his misses and has made more than anyone else from the perimeter. Unable to get that first one to go. Hodge was on the sideline. It's out of bounds to Arkansas.
The Razorbacks get a pretty good shot from Rodney Clark. Anytime he can get a little bit of space beyond the three-point line, they want him to be aggressive and take that shot. And the Razorbacks get another possession after the Gator turnover.
This is just one of those grinders that we see in conference tournaments many times. There are occasions when you're playing a team a third time. That's not true here, obviously. As you see, Arkansas has never led or tied, but look out. It's now a 29-26 game. Turned 29 all with that 3 ball. Just like that, we're tied at 29. And Calathes tries to get a high percentage shot to answer.
I like that maneuver. My advice to the Florida Gators as far as three-point shooting goes would be don't take it to the basket and take advantage of what you can do inside.
SEC basketball is presented in high definition. We're available by Raycom Sports. Arkansas's tied it again. For the second time, it's now 31 all.
Michael Washington out of his shoe.
And an easy bucket on the other end. Washington is run out of his shoe. That's right. I believe we need a whistle to stop play so he can put the shoe back on.
Shoeless Michael Washington. That didn't work very well for as far as transition defense goes.
Does make it difficult, doesn't it?
Yes, indeed. Alex Tyus didn't wait for him. Was it Tyus or KG that got that basket?
It was Tyus made the bucket.
So, and he dunked and then left the game.
Courtney Fortson getting the high pick from Sanchez. Shot clock under 10 for Fortson. They have limited Fortson's driving ability. Florida has managed that. And again, I think it goes back to how well teams know one another. By the time you get to the conference tournament, they just don't let you run your stuff.
Absolutely. Don't let you beat them with what you're most comfortable with.
There's Warner with a tray. He's hit a pair of them tonight. He has 10 on the evening, and it's 36-31.
In a dome building, or in this case, a building with a shooting background that's a long way from the basket, some guys, it fits their eye. They're just able to shoot the basketball really well in this setting, and some guys it just doesn't. Apparently, Dan Warner for Florida and Rodney Clark for Arkansas, two guys that are comfortable shooting it in this building. I haven't seen anybody else on these two teams that are.
Fortson using the glass. That dribble drive, that was really the first real exhibit of Fortson's greatest strength, his ability to drive, create contact, and score off the glass.
Yeah, he's been able to do it in transition a couple of times, but in the half-court setting, Florida's done a great job of limiting his path to the basket.
Calathis for three. Too strong. Warner, the offensive rebound. Warner runs into a double team and turns it over.
Good job by Marcus Britt. Cut him off, force that travel.
Both teams shooting a little better now in the second half. Florida's 3 for 4 and Arkansas 3 for 5 from the floor, 3 minutes deep. So maybe it's a sign of things to come.
Yeah, maybe we can heat things up here as far as the offense goes in the second half.
Clark just off the back iron. Very close on all of those misses, as we mentioned. 10 rebounds for Dan Warner. He's been very active on the glass for the Gators. There's Hodge launching. And Washington, who's just been outstanding on the glass, has got 12, an even dozen. SEC tournament record belongs to Stevie Hamer from 1996. He had 21.
Yeah, the Ball, big center for the Tennessee Vols in the mid-90s.
That was during that period when there were a lot of early punch-outs for Tennessee, too. Well,
in
fact, Bruce Pearl is still looking
every period for Tennessee.
Tennessee is still looking for its first SEC tournament win for Bruce Pearl. It'll be a tough out against Alabama tomorrow. They look very good in their win over Vanderbilt tonight earlier.
And just beat Tennessee, of course, on Sunday. And Vanderbilt nor Tennessee have had very much success in the SEC tournament over the years.
Marcus Britt. He has 4, and it's now 36-35. Gators by 1. 4 minutes gone here in the second half.
Of course, it's a critical game for the Florida Gators. They're trying to play their way into the NCAA tournament. You have to get by Arkansas in order to do that.
Fortson had Calathis by the jersey to pick up the foul as he was running the curl. They're playing the nylon song here. Results. Man, just an absolute blowout for Arkansas over Florida. And I think this is more an indictment of the passion of the Florida fan base versus Arkansas.
I think we can look around this building and see another indictment.
Well, maybe, maybe
passion of the Florida fan base.
Maybe, just maybe. That's because we've had, as you see, Walter Hodge, who was part of both of those national championship teams. The fans that are here from Florida, and there are more than there are from Arkansas, not many more, but a few more.
Yeah,
they would be texting us if they were watching.
There you go.
The telecast, but they can't watch because they're here. So
yeah,
I'm trying to throw some love their way. I really am.
I'm sure that's it.
Doing the best I can to balance this out. Warner already has his first double-double of the season. 10 and 10 for him. And Irving Walker drops through a 3-ball. And it's 39-35. A steal by Hodge. And the foul committed by Fortson.
And the shooting getting better here in the second half. Florida knocked out a couple of three-point shots here so far in the second half.
Well, you heard John Pelfrey talk about the open looks that Florida seemingly always gets, and that's just a wonderful compliment to his old coach, Billy Donovan, because he makes sure that guys get the best possible looks at the basket with the offense they run.
Yeah, they spread the court extremely well, do a great job with the drill penetration, pitching it out to teammates on that wing. It's a solid offensive club, these Gators.
Pius. Not there. Again, a good look in the painted area, but unable to get it to fall.
The Razorbacks hanging right in there. It's a almost desperate Gator club. Need this win. They need a win tomorrow night as well, and I think they're in decent shape for the NCAA tournament.
Tyus reaching in, commits the foul against Sanchez. And I don't remember a time, Barry, in the years that I've been covering the SEC tournament, where it was as balanced. 10 teams, really, legitimately. 10 of the 12 teams could legitimately win this tournament.
Yes.
I don't know that we've said that too often. And this is even after that miracle run by Georgia after the tornado last year as Britt knocks down a tray.
All right, the shooting getting much better, and the Hogs hanging in, only down a point.
7 for Marcus Britt. It's 39-38. Tyus using the glass. Nicely done.
The Gators have made a couple of three-point shots, but they're doing a much better job attacking the rim, getting the ball into the paint, taking advantage of their strength inside.
Clark. Off the front iron. Out of bounds. It belongs to the Gators.
Now here's the penetration by Courtney Fortson. Marcus Britt, great job getting on balance, getting his feet underneath him, and then able to rise up and knock home the three.
6 minutes gone here. Another reason, too, Barry, you think about it, because both these coaches know each other so well. Billy had John as a player while an assistant for Patino. Parsons unable to hit. And then, of course, he assisted him, helped bring in such a great talent to Florida. There's a steal by Hodge. Takes it right at Washington, and he's fouled. But, I mean, familiarity does breed contempt among coaches. You know each other so well.
Well, you would expect that to be the case. These two absolutely love each other. As the hard foul from Washington, as Hodge is able to drive it to the basket.
Second foul on Washington.
There's John Pelfrey naming one of his daughters. Her middle name is Donovan.
Yep.
Anne-Marie Grace Donovan Pelfrey. That's a mouthful.
Billy's got a wonderful staff now, as does John over at Arkansas. Ruby Tuesday's handcrafted burgers are bold on flavor and big on taste. 25 great burgers with endless fries starting at $5.99. The new Ruby Tuesday. So good, it's guaranteed.
This late shift has yielded some pretty good games over the last few years.
Yeah, I would, yes, it has. Absolutely, no doubt. And although this one has been tough on the eye at times, it's been maintained by both teams, and we've got a close one. It's going to come down to the wire, it would appear.
Yeah, but at least it's close, more than some other games have been able to give us today.
Arkansas has still never led, but Florida's largest lead is only 8, so it's been a close game throughout. Sanchez trying to muscle one up, unable to get it there. Hodge on a run out. Fortson, I think, tripped him. He did.
Walter Hodge once again in transition, just relentless, like a downhill running back.
Good tap out by Warner, too. Nice presence of mind.
Walter Hodge just gets it, drives it right at the front of the rim, and likes that call.
Stephon Welsh is back on the floor. Fortson's taking a seat. And Marcus Britt is out there as well. I think there was an indication I think the public address announcer mentioned the foul was on Stephon Welsh. Welsh had just come into the game. He's like, huh? Couldn't be me. It's got to be Fortson that got the foul.
Nick Calathis making sure the officials, hey, it wasn't Welsh, it's Fortson. He doesn't want to have to deal with Fortson any more than he has to.
It's the last game of the night. Let's cut the PA some slack here. It's been a long day for him. Rodney Clark from downtown. I believe that's going to be a push on Washington from the back. That's number 3, and that's significant.
Clark has missed at least his last 3 three-point attempts.
You know, it's for Washington, he's so athletic. He does have the ability. I've checked that. That's a 4th foul, so we need to credit him with 4 fouls rather than...
No, it's 3.
Are they saying 3? 4th straight miss, I bet you, for Clark.
Yeah.
Yeah, for Clark. I thought you were correcting me on the number of fouls. But, I mean, when you're as athletic as Washington is, and he is very athletic, you can take chances when you're out of position to try to get rebounds when out of position. Walker rejected by Washington, an illustration of that athleticism. And I believe KG's going to get credit for the tip.
Stick-to-itiveness by Kenny KG. Couldn't get it down the first time. Michael Washington, good defense, but KG able to tap it back home.
This is an 8-0 run for the Gators just after Arkansas had closed the gap to within 1. Arkansas and Florida in the finale of the opening round of the Southeastern Conference Tournament. A lot of grit and energy expended, and finally in the second half, a few shots dropping through the cylinder. Oh, the iron has been kind here in the second half, and the offensive intensity's picked up in Florida now with its largest lead of the night, 47-38. With 12:21 remaining. Tim Brando, Barry Booker, Dave Baker, our host who's had such a long day, and you've been with him for the bulk of it. Dave Neal, you look at that scoring run for the Gators, 8-0. It happened very quickly. A couple of turnovers, and I think in a large measure, this team from Arkansas wants to run so badly, and yet, because they've only got 8 guys available, you see another trap, and Wells turns it over. Hodge again gets an easy one. But I think that they want to run, but they're just too thin to run with Florida, so they're trying to pace the game a little.
And then Courtney Fortson takes the seat, catches a couple of minutes of a break, and all of a sudden it's a couple of turnovers, and Florida extending to their largest lead at 11.
I saw that scoreboard victory for West Virginia earlier today that we mentioned in the Big East tournament. By the way, word in the ACC, no Ty Lawson for the entire Atlantic Coast Conference tournament. So that'll have an impact on Virginia Tech, North Carolina tomorrow as we see the nice shot. Stephon Welsh puts it in. It's now 49-40. First bucket for Welsh.
Wow. They need production from Stephon Welsh off that bench.
Backdoor cut, Calathis. Another easy one. Warner with a quality dime. 9 for Nick Calathis.
And the second time that play has worked. Calathis on that shuffle cut getting to the basket. And he's so big, 6'6", able to catch it and finish.
Sanchez has got it. Nice dish inside to Washington, and Hodge fouled him. Timeout, 10:46 remaining. The Florida Gators trying to crack through to get Auburn in a bubble-licious matchup. Can they hang on against the pesky Razorbacks? Stay tuned and we'll find out. Offensive shield, and this is an interesting stat, largely because you don't think of Florida as a team that presses as much as they used to, and yet they forced 10-second violations this year. And I think we've seen a couple of examples today. Even though they've not gotten the 10-second violation, they have gotten turnovers off of that run and jump trap in the backcourt.
And the Gators, they apply pressure offensively and defensively. As this full court pressure situation, Walter Hodge able to get his hand on the basketball, leads to a layup by Hodge. The Gators 10-10-second violations with that press, and usually they're not looking to steal the ball, just trying to slow you down, do that press, and then get back into their matchup zone defense.
If Arkansas is going to get back into this thing, Barry, one would think 0-0 is going to have to get the ball a little bit more.
Yeah, they need to get him the basketball down around the basket. He has had some opportunities, hadn't been able to convert. But you're right, if they're going to get back involved, he's going to have to be very much involved in it for Arkansas.
Well, his confidence level was down early. He missed some shots, but I think that now he's probably a little more in the groove. Count it, and a foul. Warner has been in the groove all game long.
And the best setup man in the Southeastern Conference, Nick Calathis on the drive. He draws Sanchez over, and then Dan Warner, the easy finish. Now a three-point play opportunity as Calathis is able to get by Fortson along that baseline. Calathis, such a big size advantage. When he drives, the help comes, and he's able to hit an open teammate.
There's that trap again. Fortson just able to get it over the timeline.
Now the Gators, they've taken about half the shot clock now away from Arkansas. They drop back into that zone defense. It's tougher to attack as the shot clock is winding down.
Well, Washington got it, but he gave it up, and Sanchez wasn't ready for the pass. 15th turnover committed by Arkansas, and I think we've got a shot clock issue. Did not change after the shot was taken a moment ago. It was stuck on one and did not move, so Doug Schau's over to take a look at it. I think they're going to rule that there should be 32 seconds left on the shot clock. So we'll have to wind it down from 35 to 32. Doug's got the hand signals working.
But the clock's still not getting to where we want it to.
By the way, one guy that should be happy with the shooting background of the St. Pete Times Forum is Darren Horn, the head coach of South Carolina, who'll have his team in here tomorrow. His Western Kentucky team did pretty well with it last year in that game with Drake, winning it at the buzzer. So he's 2-0 in this building. He's got a little bit of a built-in advantage as he's the only coach that comes into this building 2-0 in it from the Southeastern Conference tournament. 12 coaches that are taking part, and they're still having a problem getting the clock back to 32. But that was an incredible day. I happened to be here for it. It was first time in the history of the NCAAs where the lower seeded teams all advanced. In the opening round. It happened here in Tampa Bay. You know, the Florida Gators, and we've done this before in a few broadcasts, resumes of these teams, because this is the teams outside of the Southeastern Conference that the committee will be comparing Florida with, okay? And I think that if you look at Penn State in the Big Ten, Maryland, the numbers, and again, what you did in the last 12 is important as well. But I think that the 85 is maybe one of those issues. The strength of schedule has been a problem for a lot of teams in the Southeastern Conference. And I think that that's why they need not only to win this game, but certainly the game against Auburn to feel that their case is really met.
Yeah, that will be a really big game tomorrow night if it comes to pass. Gators still with work to do against these Razorbacks.
And Auburn needs Florida worse than Florida needs Auburn as it relates to strength of schedule and that kind of thing. The numbers are not kind to Auburn right now. Werner not there, but they would improve mightily with a victory over Florida.
Yes, indeed.
14 boards now for Washington.
Auburn winning 8 of their last 9, and there we go. Michael Washington getting involved, getting the basketball inside.
He has 11, so the double-double is secure for Michael Washington.
Auburn, a hot basketball team right now. That should be really interesting, getting them into action. For Botany Barber, been a rebounding machine of late.
Oh, Calathis, nice scoop to the hoop, and KG's there for the putback.
And again, the drive to the basket by Calathis, yielding points for the Gators.
Take a look at Michael Washington. On the season, he was just an explosive low post player. And against Blake Griffin, he was the better player that night.
Yes, he was. Michael Washington was a dominant player against in those two games against Texas and Oklahoma.
(56-43), 8:37 and counting.
Time running low for these Razorbacks. They went to the half with 26 points, only 17 so far in the second half.
Fortson forcing it up, unable to get it to go, and there's a walk by Tyus.
Took a little hop there as he was trying to get control of the basketball.
And once again, Stephon Welsh will check into the game, as will Andre Clark, who's played sparingly tonight. Dan Warner also coming out of the game for the Gators. Sanchez takes a seat for Arkansas. I'll give John Pelfrey, with his depleted ensemble tonight, heavy credit for substitution pattern as well as timeout usage.
Yeah,
keeping his team in this game.
He has given his club a chance to win this game, as he has on so many occasions this year. The Razorbacks have been so close in several ball games, is not able to pull very many of those games out.
That's a blocking foul. Oh, Parsons hitting the deck there.
So the Big East tournament could be getting real interesting with Syracuse.
Yes, it could.
Leading late.
Now that team is in. That's a quality team, obviously, yes. Syracuse, but that could mean two potential #1 seeds in the NCAAs going down in their first games played in the Big East tournament. And
regular season champion Louisville marching on.
That's right. They may be headed into one of those one positions themselves. Tino's club has been very strong late in the year.
The bracket busted wide open for those Louisville Cardinals as they move into the semifinal round.
Washington not ready to bring that one in. Fortson a little too quick with that dart. And it's a turnover. Gators lead by a baker's dozen with just under 8 minutes left. Tri-Sonic's new everyday value menu. It's the best way to satisfy your Sonic cravings without breaking the bank. It delivers the great variety you'd expect, and all for only $1 each. Try the Junior Deluxe Burger, Chick Strip Sandwich, Junior Breakfast Burrito, and many other items, all for $1 each all day, every day. Not just good, it's Sonic good. Aerial view of the St. Pete Times Forum, a beautiful facility here in lovely Tampa Bay, Florida. Absolutely Chamber of Commerce weather. Gator fans that are on hand with the help of their percussion section, trying to get their guys motivated for the last 7:51.
The Gators have just worn down these Razorbacks with their depth, their strength around the basket, and they have knocked down a few shots from the perimeter as well. The offensive ability of these Gators wearing on the Hogs.
Hodge, too strong. Parsons there to follow, and Washington does pick up his fourth. That was sort of a giveaway too. Didn't need it. Sometimes in situations like that, I know you don't want to give up a layup, but sometimes you just have to say, okay, I got to sacrifice here and let him have it, move on, and live to play another day.
Saved at least a point. But Parsons could have very easily made that layup and been shooting for a three-point play opportunity. Fortson will take a seat again.
You run that risk, don't you? You do. Washington leaves this game. It turned out to be, as they say on the scoreboard, a good foul again. Well, he's got 15 rebounds now. That ties a career high for Washington. With one great stat usually comes another sad story. There were a lot of missed shots.
Yeah. Rebound opportunities plentiful, especially in the first half.
Washington missed one from point blank range there. pulls up on the baseline, gets the roll. Nicely done. The young man from Puerto Rico has been there. He's been a solid, stable player his entire career with Florida.
Michael Washington just hasn't had his shooting touch. He's had quite a few opportunities around the basket. Only 5 for 11 tonight.
Britt. He cans it from downtown. He has 10 points.
Played very well.
A lot of times big guys that are anxious tend to rush it. And I think maybe Washington's had that tonight. He's not gotten the ball, I think, enough.
Right.
Therefore, he's just not been in rhythm. Stephon Welsh just absolutely lost his dribble. Out of control that time. Now numbers for Hodge. Oh, that was a left hook. They threw that one up from the hip.
A little sloppy from both sides.
He's playing the left-handed George Mikan on the baseline. Here's Stephon Welsh from downtown, and he gets the triple.
And Billy Donovan gonna have a little chat with his senior point guard, Walter Hodge. The three-point shot moves Arkansas to only 9 down after Hodge's ill-advised hook shot. Stephon Welsh able to bang home the three.
Well, Water Cooler, a coastal resort on Florida's beautiful Emerald Coast, brings unspoiled Florida and southern hospitality to your family. The Watercolor Resort offers everything you need to paint the perfect vacation. Call 888-775-2545 or visit watercolorresort.com for more information. Mention SEC basketball for up to 25% off select vacation accommodations. That is a beautiful location.
Been here in Florida a couple of times here this winter, and just wondering why we all here in the United States don't just move down here. It's fantastic. 83 degrees when I got off the plane on Wednesday. It's phenomenal.
Billy is blistering Doug Shows, and I don't know if it was about a miscommunication on whether a timeout was called, or I think he may have felt that he was trying to get some. I'm trying to figure out what he must have been so angry about as Walker hits the three. The conversation goes on between Doug Shows and Billy Donovan. Hopefully we'll find out at some point. I can pass it along as Washington steps outside and rattles it home. That's the shot you've been waiting for.
Yeah, stepping into that one. But I think Billy Donovan trying to show some fire to help his team get their fire back and finish off this ball game. Critical game for the Gators. The veteran coach, Billy the Kid, pulling out some tricks here to get his club rolling again.
Calathis, baseline extended. That's a two-pointer. 63-51, 4:42 and counting. Rodney Clark and Sanchez will come in on the next dead ball for the Hogs. Say this about this club: to be 2-14 in the league as Washington gets it inside. Again, I think he rushed that one. Now he did go back, get another rebound, and pad his stats a little bit, but you get that feeling that he just rushed the shot.
For whatever reason, he has not been converting. Has had quite a few good. Hadn't had enough, but quite a few good opportunities right around the basket. Just hasn't been able to get those shots home.
Hodge running the curl, lost his dribble. Out of bounds to Arkansas. And Clark and Sanchez re-enter the game for John Pelfrey. The point I was going to make is that you're 2-14. You've got a young club. It's depleted, but they have played hard throughout. And that's been the regular season too. A lot of young men, especially after their start.
Yeah.
You know, they might, as they say, not show up for a couple of games. That's not been the case at all with this Arkansas squad.
That's right. They have played hard throughout, and no doubt that John Pelfrey, one of the absolutely quality young coaches in college basketball, and his mentor, Billy Donovan, on the other side, outstanding.
Washington gets the rebound, and Calathis knocked it away. We've got a timeout. 3:29 remaining. Back to the St. Pete Times Forum after these messages from your local SEC station. Forum. Take a look down our Red Lobster nothing but net shot of the game, and we've got several as things heated up in the second half for the Gators. Barry?
Yeah, the shooting has improved on both sides. Dan Warner knocking home that three-point shot. Good kick out from Kenny Cagey. Here's Nick Calathis coming off the screen. Warner knocking in his second three-point shot of the game for our Red Lobster nothing but net shots of the game.
Sanchez has his pocket picked, and I believe that's going to be a takedown.
Two-pointer there, isn't it?
Yeah. Dan Warner just quietly goes about the business of playing the game, and he's just been a joy for Billy Donovan to coach. He loves coaching this kid. He said he's never had, he told me this early in the season. He told me that Dan Warner had gone from a position as a young player coming in to greater heights. His improvement level was greater than any that he had coached with his level athlete. Okay, in other words, when you start talking about the overall talent level, obviously Noah and Horford and those guys, that's a different story. But with a player with the amount of talent that he comes in with to grow, he said the growth was greater for him than with any other player that he had. I thought that was a tall compliment.
I think of Joakim Noah, who came in very skinny.
Absolutely.
Undersized, came a long way. A top 10 draft pick, obviously, by the time he left his junior year. Matt Bonner, another guy, came in as a freshman, looked like, all right, maybe he'll be a role player by the time he's done. He has developed into a fine NBA player at this stage.
Well, again, remember, some players come to college with NBA potential, others don't. What he's saying is his growth was farther along than any that he'd ever had. I thought that was an incredible compliment to pay him.
High praise. I'm not arguing with Billy Donovan. Never would, never will.
That's what makes it a compliment.
Very high praise.
That's what makes it such a great compliment, I think. Hodge driving baseline. He's going to be fouled as he drives inside by Britt. I think the true measure of a coach is to get the ultimate out of, squeeze every ounce of talent as he can out of each player he has. And no one does it any better than that man, Billy Donovan.
Yes, especially offensively. He puts his players in a great position to succeed, gives them confidence, the individual instruction that the players get during their time at Florida. All of them really improve as offensive basketball players individually, and he gets them to buy into the team concept as well.
And the blueprint for total sports programs within an institution in this conference should be Florida. You can be great in football and great in basketball at the same time.
Jeremy Foley leading the way as athletic director. Got it going in Gatorland these days.
Fortson, yes, and a foul. And that's what we have not seen from him tonight. And to Florida's credit, they have limited him those kinds of drives to the basket.
They really have. Florida, the matchup zone defense, they've done a good job helping out, not allowing Courtney Fortson to get into the gaps and to get all the way to the basket. That time he was able to shake loose, score the basket, and get the three-point play.
Well, I talked to John Pelfrey about the one-game suspension that Fortson had earlier in the year against Kentucky. And he says, you know what, hey, it's little things. Over time, he says, it's one thing if you think you're going to have a 500 program. We're not a 500 program. We're a great program. We're a special program. And with that in mind, the seeds have to be sown for greatness early on. And some of those disciplinary moves that he made during the course of the year are big picture moves by Pelfrey.
And of course, we don't see all the things behind the scenes that go on with the players, but I have from Courtney Fortson seen a much better comportment on the court.
Yes.
Not the foot stomping and yelling at teammates that we saw early in conference play this season.
Or demonstrative reactions to official calls.
Yes.
And I think that was the point that Pelfrey was also trying to make.
And he's a much better teammate.
Warner posting up against Britt, decides to dig into that clock a little bit and get it to Irving Walker. Shot clock at 6. Nice move. Boy, that is just picture perfect 15 for him now.
With 1 on the shot clock, the Gators get a wide open layup.
15 points and 13 rebounds for Dan Warner. Fortune commits the foul. So it will be the Gators and the Tigers tomorrow. And other than that man, the happiest guy in St. Pete and Tampa Bay is Jeff Lebo. He needed to play Florida tomorrow.
Tomorrow should be a special day. We'll have Kentucky and LSU getting things started. Auburn and Florida closing it down. Probably the most important game tomorrow as far as further postseason play is concerned.
Yes, we had our stimulus package to the Tampa Bay economy by Kentucky winning today.
Yes.
Against Ole Miss. No disrespect intended to our friends from Oxford, Mississippi, but as they say, the patrons will do much better that the Big Blue faithful will have another day in Tampa Bay.
The Blue Mist continues to filter into the area. It'll filter into the arena tomorrow at 1 o'clock, no doubt.
Really, when you think about it, the conference got in today's first round the best matchups for tomorrow you could possibly hope for. The games that will be played tomorrow are very interesting. South Carolina, Mississippi State is a great game too. It really is.
Yeah, I guess all the higher seeded clubs win today.
LSU, Kentucky, South Carolina, Mississippi State, Alabama, Tennessee, and Auburn and Florida. Those are the best possible matchups you would think that the conference could have hoped for round 2.
And East and West this year, it ended 18-18. The Eastern
Isn't that amazing?
18.
Isn't that amazing?
And the West has rarely, since 1992, the West, I think it's only been 3 occasions that they've had more wins than the East head-to-head.
Yet I believe the perception, Barry, is still around the country that the East is maybe a game and a half, 2 games better than the West.
Well, we'll see.
We'll find out.
Yeah, that's right. It'll be interesting. Maybe we will certainly settle that issue by the end of this tournament. The East or the West will have at least a 1-game advantage.
Irving Walker off the bounce. Hands it with 6 on the shot clock. 73-58. And the Florida fans rise to their feet and look forward to tomorrow's matchup. The Razorback season will come to an end, and John Pelfrey's club looks to beef up and get more depth and prepare for the 2009 season. 2 great friends, a lot of love and respect shared by both staffs. Well, Barry, enjoyed it. We'll do it again tomorrow. I know you've got a long day beginning in the morning with our friend Dave Neal.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the nightcap tomorrow night. That will be a great game and should be a good environment in this building tomorrow with Florida and Auburn going at it tomorrow night.
73-58 our final. The Razorbacks and the Gators here at the St. Pete Times Forum. A lot more yet to come. Post-game activities right after this.